Hey there. If you're like me, you've played games like Mega Man or other old school retro action platformers where you have a health bar. It will follow along with the player and respond accordingly when you take damage or pick up health items. So I figured it would be a good idea to do a beginner-friendly Godot tutorial on how to make your own health bar for a 2D platformer style game. So the first thing you want to do is when you open up a brand new Godot project is click 2D scene, and then you're gonna rename that scene as level. Then click Ctrl S to save, and it's gonna say level.tscn, click save, and that's our level scene. Now the next thing we're gonna do is right click on the level, and we're gonna add in a child node. We're gonna do static body 2D, click it, click create, right click on the static body 2D, add a child node, and we're going to do a collision shape. Create, click this empty right here, click rectangle, then we're going to right click on static body 2D again, add child node, and we're going to do color rect, which will add some color. Click the white, and I'm just going to make it kind of a brown color, like the ground, and then it's easier for me if I just click these eyes to make it just kind of invisible right now, and then you click static body 2D and click this red little cross and just move it down so all of it will move with it, and then make them visible again. And what we'll do is we'll zoom in a little bit, and we'll click on the collision shape, click on the middle left dot and just stretch it out. And this is going to be our ground, and you want to make it nice and long for the sake of this project. That'll probably be good enough. And then you click on the color rect and you line up the top of it with that ground. Zoom in, make sure you line it up right there. Then you click on the middle dot again and just stretch it out. And you want to line it up with the collision shape, because otherwise you're going to have ground that your player could fall through, which may be fun for some projects, but for this project it's not really what we're looking for. We want it to be pretty clear where the player can stand. So line it up with that edge right there. There you go. All right, zoom out a little bit, and that's our level. So let's do Ctrl S to save our level, and we're going to do this plus sign right here. And we're going to go to other node, and if you notice the plus sign, we're creating a new scene. It's kind of a hard thing to wrap your head around, but we're going to create a scene where we're going to make the player, and then we're going to drop the player into the level. So we're going to go other node, and we're going to go character body 2D, click right there, click create, right click on that, add a child node. We're going to go collision shape 2D, click it, create, click that empty, and click the rectangle shape. Go back to the character body 2D, right click it, add child node, do the color rect, click it, click create, click that white. I'm going to make mine blue because I always think of Mega Man when I think of the hero of a game, but you can go with whatever color you want. And you want to click on that color rect and just line it up nice and tight with the collision shape. You don't want it to be outside of the collision shape because you want the player to know when they're going to bump into something. There you go, just line it up nice and tight. We're going to go back up here and we're going to double click on it. We're going to name it player. And then we're going to do Ctrl S just to save it. So we have the player scene. Now, things are going to get maybe a little bit more complex here, but don't be intimidated. Just follow along and it should turn out just fine for your project. So click on the player, and then you're going to click on this scroll with the plus sign, and that's going to add a script. So we want to do template, and we'll make sure that's checked, character body 2D basic movement. Click create, and it's going to add in this code, which is GD script. It's Godot's scripting language. So this is how our player is going to move and jump and bump into the ground. We're going to go to the bottom, and we're going to make sure that we are tabbed in all the way against the numbers, because tabs do affect GD script, and we're going to press enter a couple times. And again, just make sure that you're as far back as you can against the number. If you press backspace, you'll go up. You want to make sure that you're as far back as you can. So we're going to go type in func for making a new function, and we're going to go has under dash health and open and close parentheses, colon, press enter, and pass. So this is a function that is inside of our player's script. It's called has health, and it doesn't do anything. It just exists, and that's okay. So we're going to press Control S to save our player. This has health will come up again soon, but for now we're going to do that, and we are going to just close out the player. Goodbye. We're going to go back to 2D, so we see our 2D level. We've got our level scene, and we're going to take our player, and we'll close up this static body part. We're going to take our player, and we're going to make sure player.tscn is highlighted and just drop them into the level. And sometimes this happens. You're going to take the player, make sure he's not a child of the static body, and just kind of put him right there in between the level and the static body. And there we go, he's his own thing. So we got the level, and the level has two children right now, the player and the static body 2D. Press Control S to save it, and then press this play button to test it out. Select current, which will select the level scene as the main scene of our game. And there we go, we're moving around, we're jumping. It's pretty exciting if you're new to game dev to have this happen. It's pretty fun. It's still exciting if you've been doing it for a while. So close out the screen, and now we're going to add a couple more things. We're going to right click on the player, we're going to add a child node, and what we're going to add in is a camera 2D. And then we're going to right click on the player, add another child node. We're going to add in a canvas layer, right here, canvas layer. So the player now has the children, the camera, and the canvas layer. We're going to right click on the canvas layer and add a child of that. So we're going to go progress bar. So just a quick little recap. We have the player, who's a child of the level. He has two children, the camera and the canvas layer. And the canvas layer has another child, the progress bar. Click on the progress bar, stretch it out a little bit so you can see it. And then let's make it its value 100. Control S. Let's press play to test it out. So now look at that. We're moving around. We're jumping. For some reason it's still set to 0. Let's see what we may have done wrong. Alright, let's just click out of it. Play it again. There we go. Alright, for some reason it just wasn't loading in at 100. So there you go, we're moving around, we're jumping. The camera is following our player, and that canvas layer is keeping that progress bar in the game, just like a health bar would in a retro action platforming kind of game. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the progress bar, and we're going to see this scroll with the plus. We're going to add a script to the progress bar. Make sure your template is unchecked. We just want it to be totally empty. We're going to do create, and then we'll come back to it later. Go back to 2D, and then we'll save the level, and we're going to do the plus sign to get another scene going. We're going to go other node, and we're going to go area 2D, click it, and click create. Now we're going to add a child node to this area 2D. We're going to go collision shape 2D, create. I'm going to go to the empty. We're going to add in a square. I'm going to right click on the area 2D, add a child node. I'm going to go color rectangle, create. Now it's worth noting in a more advanced project, when you're adding in this color rect is when you would probably want to add in your sprites or your sprite animations, but for the sake of this tutorial today, we're going to do it. And I think they look nice. There is a game, I believe, that does basic shapes. That looks pretty good. So it works for today, and it might work for other projects you want to do. So, but in a more advanced or more traditional style game, you're going to want to add in sprites or animations. But today we're going to do just these rectangles. So we're going to click on this color rect. We're going to click on the white, and I'm going to make mine kind of green, like slime or like radioactive stuff. You can do whatever color you want. Make sure that color rect is slid in nice and tight. Just make sure you got it clicked and slide it in. Click those corners. There we go. Now we're gonna rename it to enemy, and then we're gonna go Control S to save. So now we have a enemy. We're gonna click here. We're gonna add in a script. Make sure it's empty and click create. So there's gonna be a couple interesting things that we're gonna do here, but again, if you follow along, I think it's gonna turn out just fine. So first thing we're gonna do inside of this enemy script is we're gonna create a signal. Signal, and it's gonna say the word signal and then space, and we're gonna do under dash damage. So we're creating a signal called do damage. So Control S to save. So if you click on the enemy, the area 2D, you go over here to the node, has all the signals, and we've added a new signal called do damage. Now we're not going to use it just yet, actually. We're going to come down here to where it says body entered. We're going to click that. We're going to click connect, and we're going to connect this signal back to the enemy itself. So we're going to click connect. So now we have this function. This code will run whenever a body enters into the area of the enemy. So we're going to get rid of the pass. The first thing this code is going to do is going to check if body has method, and then we're going to do quotations, has health. We're going to do a colon. We're just going to do pass for now. We're not going to let it do anything just yet, just so we can review. Do Control S to save. So this function, on body entered, will run anytime a body collides with the enemy. First thing it's going to do is check if the body has the method, has health. Now if you remember, our player has the function or the method, has health. So back to the enemy where it says pass, we're going to get rid of that. And what we are going to do is we are going to go do damage.emit. We're going to emit the signal that we made do damage. Then we're going to press enter. We're going to do Q free, which will destroy the enemy when the player jumps into it. Not all games do that, but for our purposes today, it's going to work just fine. So again, quick review. If a body goes into the enemy, it checks if the body has the method, has health, then it emits the signal do damage, and then it destroys itself. So we're going to do Control S to save, and we're just going to close out that enemy scene, go back to the level, go 2D, and just for this second, just to keep everything kind of clean and lined up, we got our level, our player, and a static body, and we're going to add in the enemy scene right here. And he's not going to fall down, so just make sure he's close enough to the ground so the player can bump into him. There we go. Alright, now see, it added him in as a child of the canvas layer. We don't want that. We're just going to move him to the bottom. So again, everything should be its own thing. There's the level, and it's got 3 children, the player, the static body 2D, and the enemy. Now we can reopen it back up, click the enemy. We're going to go to the signals, so it might have the inspector. We're going to go node, signals, do damage, the one that we made, and we're going to connect that signal to the progress bar. Click it right there, click connect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go, so we're back in the progress bar script, if you remember the progress bar had its own script, and we're going to go value minus equals 10, Control S to save. Now, let's test it out. The player's moving, he bumps into the enemy. Look at that, the health goes down, and the health bar keeps following the player. Pretty cool. So, we'll close it out, go back to the level, and we'll just duplicate that enemy a couple times. Click the enemy 2, put him right here. Or enemy 3, sorry. And now we're going to move enemy 2 out here. We're going to have 3 different enemies. Let's do Control S to save, and let's just test it out. bumps into it, oh no, jumps over that one, bumps into that one, oh no, I'm really bad at the game, boom. Look at that, so they're all working. So now we've got the game running where the player can bump into these enemies, and we need it to respond accordingly to the player's health getting to 0 and starting over. So we're gonna go to this script that's at the progress bar. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go function, we're gonna go process, and it's just this top one, process delta. For a second we'll do pass just so I can explain it. So this is the function that is built into Godot. It's going to run every single time the game refreshes, which is really, really fast, just a ton of times a second. And so it's just constantly running this function and checking things. And so what we are going to do is we are going to add in if the value is less than or equal to 0, colon, we're going to get tree dot reload current scene. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these 40. So we're going to take more damage when we bump into those, and then it's going to be constantly checking, and if the value is ever less than or equal to 0, it's going to reload the current scene. There we go. Took some damage, reloaded the scene. There we go. Health bar is following the player, and it's responding accordingly. So now the last thing I want to add to this game is a way for the player to get more health. So we will go back to 2D, we'll go plus, we're going to go other node, we're going to go area 2D, create, right click on it, add child node, collision shape 2D, click it, click create, go back to the inspector, click the empty, go square, right click on area again, add a child node, go color rect, create, zoom in. I'm gonna make the color maybe like a pinkish color, I don't know, or purple pinkish kind of color, something soft and nice. And then just again, make that rectangle nice and tight against that collision shape. There we go. Tighter, right about there. We're gonna double click the area. We're gonna go health, dash pickup. Control S, save it as a scene, the health pickup. Click right here, we're gonna add in a script, make sure it's empty, click create, it's health pickup, I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go signal, and we're gonna go heal. It's a signal to heal the player. Press enter a couple times, make sure we got this health pickup part highlighted, go to node, notice that heal signal's already in there, but we're gonna go body entered. When the body is entered, we're going to connect it to ourself, just like we did with the enemy. Where the pass is, we're going to get rid of the pass, and we're going to go if body dot has method has health. We're going to go dot emit, and then Q free. Okay, Control S to save it. I'm just going to double check, make sure I named that right. Yeah, the player's got the has health, the health pickup. So review, if the body enters the health pickup, it checks if the body has the method has health. If it does, it emits the signal heal, and then it deletes itself. So Control S, make sure we got it saved, close it out, go back to our 2D level, and then we'll zoom out a little bit, and then we will go health pickup, drag it in somewhere, player's got to get past these enemies to get to it, put it about there, Oh, see the health pickup is a child. Keep making that mistake. Just drag it all the way to the bottom. Boom, there you go. Now he gets to it. We want to make sure that this health pickup signal is connected to the progress bar. Go connect, progress bar, connect. And now where's this pass? We're gonna get rid of that. And we're gonna do value plus equal 40. Control S. Now let's test it out. I'll go, this is our level. And let's press play. Let's see what we got. So, oh no, I bumped into an enemy, I make it past that one, I get the health. Boom. There we go. And I bump into this guy, I'm not quite dead. So, there you go. I hope that that was an informative tutorial for those of you who are getting into learning Godot and learning game design. And yeah, this is a very basic way to make a health bar that will follow our player and do the things that you would expect a health bar to do. If you liked this tutorial, please like and subscribe to the channel. I plan on doing more tutorials in the future, and keep on programming and making games. If you have any questions, please comment down below, and thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it.